Let's head to the Mirror. Trade war hammer blow. Fears for stricken steel industry as Trump slaps tariffs on sales to US. The government has been urged to toughen up after Trump imposed a 20% tax on metal products brought into the US from countries including the UK. Now, industry bodies have been warning that tariffs are hugely damaging for UK suppliers of steel and aluminium. And unions, of course, have claimed that Trump's move will threaten jobs. Angela, it doesn't feel good to be on the other end of Donald Trump's tariff war, does it?
Well, look, the US is the UK's largest trading partner, and we have to have a robust and useful relationship with the States on this regard. We're a very small part of their whole economic picture and economic landscape. And I think there's a fear, if it gets into the whole kind of tit-for-tat situation, this will escalate. You know, the UK is still making its way with free trade agreements post-Brexit. You know, there was a trumped-up, no, every pun intended, warm reception for Starmer when he met with the president. And I think at the moment, Starmer, words you don't often hear me say, Starmer is right to take a... Calm yourself, Alexis.
We've got that on camera. Good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Scratch it. I think he's right to take a circumspect view rather than some kind of knee-jerk reaction. We're not a big European bloc like the EU. We're just one country.
So, Bobby, coming off the back of what Angela's just said, does that make us weaker in this situation? The EU have been able to reciprocate those tariffs straight away. Huge trading bloc, 500 million people.
Yes.
What about the UK? Are we kind of stuck in the middle, or is that a good thing because perhaps we're more nimble?
Well, the thing is, I think it makes us weaker in long-term trade negotiations with other countries, because if they see the US whacking tariffs on us and we don't respond, imagine you're the EU or you're China and you're looking at the UK thinking, actually, we could probably be tough with the UK and they won't respond, they won't retaliate. So I think retaliation is not the right word. It's about having a level playing field. And I think actually in some ways by the UK expressing we are going to also raise tariffs on the US, it may make Donald Trump think, actually, the UK are serious, let's negotiate, because...
But the UK individually raising tariffs in the US, it's not really going to have that much of an impact for the US.
It's going to have a tiny impact.
So does that mean that we're weaker?
No, I don't think. I think sometimes there is a tendency in the human condition to suggest that very noisy shows of strength or declarations of intent somehow suggest that makes us powerful. There is power in being considered and taking a longer view. Sometimes, I'm not talking about being sluggish or unable to formulate a plan. We share a lot with the United States in terms of information, intelligence, security, strong diplomatic ties. We will be able to hopefully forge some kind of bilateral trade agreement with them. And I think at this stage, everything is so high voltage with Donald Trump. One of the things I do like about Trump, you can put that next to the Starmer right comment for ick things she said within a few minutes of doing the papers review, is that he likes to shake things up and make things happen. Now, obviously, he's said a lot of egregious things that are difficult to swallow. But we've seen hostages released, we've seen peace deal being discussed, things where there's been stagnation for the past few years, two major conflicts.
He certainly jolts the conversation. Let's see what Keir Starmer had to say when he was speaking in the Commons yesterday.
On the question of tariffs, obviously, like everybody else, I'm disappointed to see global tariffs in relation to steel and aluminium. But we will take a pragmatic approach. We are, as he knows, negotiating an economic deal which covers and will include tariffs if we succeed, but we will keep all options on the table.
All options on the table. Trump was saying that perhaps there is a deal to be done when concerns with AI and things like that. So maybe the UK can carve out that long-awaited US trade deal.